Here now for more. I don't know if we should call it a victory lap. Mike Novogratz is the founder and CEO of blockchain company Galaxy and a early investor in Bitcoin. Mike, what's the portfolio statement at this point? How much money have you made off of this stuff?
Yeah, a lot. Listen, more important than the money, there's been a group of people for really 15 years that have tried to birth this asset into existence. And it's just a time to pause and recognize that it's a community that got together that decided they were going to store their hard-earned worth in this technology. And, if Satoshi was alive, because I don't think he is, I'm sure he'd have a big smile on his face. It was a great technology, but it's really the social construct that people learn to understand it and trust each other. Yeah. And so in a lot of ways, this is probably the greatest example of a broad-based coalition of people coming together to do something really spectacular. There is. And so I think, before we talk about price, I just want to recognize the moment, because $2 trillion asset in 15 years coming out of a guy's idea is pretty stinking spectacular.
It is, and I think there's a generational significance here as well. Many of the people who have made a lot of money in this are on the younger side, and maybe you look at what's, good luck trying to get into real estate, good luck with the stock market. This is a protocol that really has kind of minted a new generation of millionaires and maybe more at this point. A lot of people are also who have been, kind of the real buyers, have sticky hands or whatever you want to call it. I mean, there's people I know and who who have made a lot of money on this, and they still insist they are never selling. Why is that? Why is that?
Do you think that's people?
Yes. Do you think that's still true?
This is a belief system for people, right? It's a belief system more so even than a financial asset for a lot of people. That said, I was on the phone with one of the great macro investors in the world, and we were discussing, we might have just seen in the last 3 months the single greatest wealth gain for 25 to 45-year-olds in history, right? Because they have a lot of their money in crypto. You've had crypto broadly double or more, depending on which collection of coins you own, and what impact that'll have on the economy, right? In general, 23% of wealth shocks get spent in consumption. And I think you're going to see, the tables at Miami are going to get bid back up on the Miami nightclubs, and people are going to be buying houses and cars. And so it'll be interesting to see if the Fed has an input of an increase in consumption from this massive wealth gain that a bunch of young people have made.
Oh, totally. Let me ask you still, for the skeptics, Mike, and even myself, when a neighbor of mine works at Coinbase, and I remember sitting down with him during COVID, and he wrote out the whole thing, he explained it all, and I thought, okay, I intellectually understand how this is unique and can be a valid and novel store of value, basically. But let's remember, this was also created with the idea of it being a unit of currency, a kind of native currency to the internet. No one wants to spend it anymore. We all want to hold it.
Listen, early on, it morphed itself from a payments idea to a store of value, to digital gold. And if you just simply think of this as the new generation's gold, it is a store of value. It will go up when people want it. It will go down when people say we don't need it. Right now there's a frenzy around buying Bitcoin all around the world. It's one of the first global assets, but there is so much leverage in the system, right? The basis, what it costs to fund long positions is as wide as I've ever seen it. And so will it last to the end of the year? I think so. Could it last to the inauguration? I think so. But I can guarantee all your listeners, there will be at least one, if not two, vicious retracements, which will test your soul, right? When there's that much leverage in a system, it washes it out. The bigger question is, why did I call this a paradigm shift? The reason I called it a paradigm shift is we had 4 years of horrible regulation and an administration that really didn't want to promote digital assets, Bitcoin, or any cryptocurrency in America. And America literally leads the world in regulation. If it doesn't work here, it's very hard for it to work elsewhere. And we have a president now, like him or not, he is great for the crypto industry. He has said early on he was going to be a crypto president, a Bitcoin president. He's got a cabinet full of believers, full of people that are long crypto. And so I think you can see with the choice of the SEC chair, we are going to have a much different regulatory environment. And that's going to allow innovation. It's going to allow TradeFi, the Citibanks of the world and everyone else to participate in this new asset class. And, it's tough because you can see on one hand, man, it feels very frothy and leveraged. A lot of the stocks feel expensive. On the other hand, it feels like the rest of the world is just going to get it. The traditional world is just going to get a chance to play.
Exactly.